This Thor will nearly clean up the rest of the Mutalisks, but actually, 5 of them survive, despite 3 being at very low health.
Yeah, low health is still able to fight, and that's what Fantaprime's going to do here with these Mutalisks, and he's going to get his money's worth, excuse me, out of these Mutalisks, and take down that whole force.
Yeah, August was queuing to the northeast of August Tower, and now he's pulling back his units. I noticed that good players do not queue to units; they queue to a specific rally point, and that's pretty important with the recent addition of the fail queue in the actual release of StarCraft.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that the queue will change or reset, as it were, when a unit dies or if you misclick, great strategy to kind of have a tactical point on the map in which you know your troops are going and to be changing that, to be aware of it all the time, and definitely pro players are taking advantage of that to put their armies where they need them to be and to have reinforcements come in at the nick of time.
Yeah, a bunch of Mutalisks now moving around into August's base. I don't think they're going to engage the workers this time if they know what's good for them, but they should just be checking to maybe scout out the base, see if there's any surprises in store.
Yeah, Fantaprime, I think he knows he can exert map control right now. In fact, getting his third expansion going with that map control. Looks like a starport going up for the Terran. He's probably trying to quickly convert to some Vikings. A few more reactors going up on these 2 barracks. He's going to pump out as many Marines as he can right now. That's probably the best thing he can do without having the proper starport units pumping out right now, is to
And clearing
maintain.
out the missile turrets. Sorry, what was that, JD?
I'm just saying it's probably the best idea for him to maintain a large force of Marines to kind of scare off Fantaprime as much as he can. Fantaprime will go in for these little strikes, these little tactical strikes, to keep August on his toes. That's what Mutalisks are really great for. Once you know that they're out on the board, it really makes one paranoid. Looks like neural parasite, spine crawlers, infestors, lots of upgrades coming out for Fantaprime right here. He's going to try to really diversify his army. Still a lot of Banelings out on the board. And meanwhile, for the Terran, really losing out on worker count right now, only getting his second expansion up right at this moment. 28 Marines, sorry, making up the bulk of his army. A few tanks, a few Marauders, but it doesn't look like the army composition is big enough or bad enough to take on the Zerg right now. And Fantaprime going straight into a 4th expansion as soon as the 3rd gets up and running. Very, very quick expanding with this Mutalisk gained map control for Fantaprime right now.
Yeah, now August will take things into his own hands and push. Looks like he's going to try and take out one of Fanta's many expansions.
Looks like Fantaprime senses it, moving everything over, including those 2 infestors who I think now have neural parasite. Not quite yet, still researching, must be almost done. But a lot of Banelings on the board. I think this is going to be a deja vu of what we just saw before.
Yeah, August, however, has a nice kiting trail set up of siege tanks, and he's going to run his army away and hope that those siege tanks can do some damage. However, the explosive power of those Banelings really quickly taking out most of August's AA. Yet he chooses not to destroy the siege tanks with his muties.
You can run, but you can't hide from Banelings. They're going to find you eventually, and that's exactly what happens again to the Terran's army. He must be cursing those little green balls of exploding goo right now, as I know that I have many, many times. Still a lot of upgrades for both players right now. Definitely something that the better players keep track of throughout the game, constantly upgrading. I find that making my upgrade buildings part of my unit building queue, or hotkey rather, is an important tactic to have. And it looks like Fantaprime now attacking August's 2nd expansion, that is equipped with a planetary fortress. And the standoff right now between the planetary fortress, the repairing SCVs, as we've seen many, many times, those SCVs now going to get farmed down, and the planetary fortress will likely as well.
But it got 14 kills as it was being attacked, so
But meanwhile, on the other side of the board, AugustWerra going to take his chance now that he knows Fantaprime's army is diverted to take down these two fresh expansions for Fantaprime, and those will be stopped completely.
and it doesn't look like we're going to see a base race situation here. Fanta seems to be returning to protect his northwest expansion because he doesn't want to lose any more income.
Yeah, there's still a slight edge on Fantaprime on workers, but he's kind of been dealt a blow. Two bases, two expansions there going down in quick succession. One for August, of course, and then he's probably feeling the hurt on his economy as well.
Yeah, but Fanta's army continuing to grow at an incredible rate, just having so many hatcheries up, and now he's building two more at the east of the map. He just can't be stopped from expanding.
Yeah, I feel like now without Banelings, you can see how different these encounters end up looking. There's some fungalonage going down on the Marines and the Marauders, but with this Medivacs doing their job real well, those troops are going to stay alive. And without Banelings in the composition, you can see how the M&Ms, the siege tanks, and the Medivacs really tear up Zerg bio units.
Yeah, 5 medevacs can dish out a lot of healing very quickly.
More fungal growth down on the units, but the medevacs should be able to heal them right back up to full. They've survived 2 fungal growths, most of these troops down here, and the medevacs doing a great job. Don't know why Fantaprime turned away from his Baneling strategy.
And now August confident to taunt Fanta in a sense by splitting up his army in two and opting to quickly destroy all of his bases with a split up army, as opposed to staying together and, really respecting Fanta's forces.
And here come the Banelings back out on the field. Fantaprime probably kicking himself right now for thinking that he could get away with not building more of them. 15 Banelings out on the field, which is pretty typical for the last 2 skirmishes we've seen. The siege tanks will take some of them out, if not all of them out. Probably not enough at this point. And Fantaprime will GG to August, and that's pretty surprising to me, Bayes. It seemed for a long time that August was behind the 8 ball there on expansions, on troops. Those Banelings really punishing him. And was it just the simple fact that Fanta stopped making Banelings that lost him that match?
I don't know. It's hard to say what caused it, right? This is what frustrates me so much again about fighting against Terran, right? Like I feel like you can outplay them, but you still lose. I feel like Fanta had double the income the entire game, and yet those siege tanks were able to just decimate the units that Fanta had out on the board. I mean, he had a couple options, of course, continuing to make Banelings or maybe transitioning to Ultralisks, who are not as easily liquefied by the siege tank army. But whatever happened, I'm sure it was a frustrating loss for Fanta.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to see at least a few Hydralisks out there to pressure the Medivacs. I know as a Terran that it's very hard to micro everything. And then
Hydralisks are so easily destroyed by siege tanks.
They are, but there was no AA besides the Mutalisks there. They were being really pressured by the Marines. And
yeah. A couple Corruptors, I think, would have been the correct choice to take out the Medivacs, and maybe some Ultralisks, and continuing to use Banelings was definitely a good strategy.
Absolutely, I'm sure.
But I think maybe Fanta got a little bit overconfident, just because he had such a great income, because he had such a large army, and allowed himself to be pulled out of position by siege tanks and lost it.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's probably kicking himself after this match for not making another big batch of Banelings. And on that note, for myself and for Bayes and for the Wood League, we hope you enjoyed this match straight out of Korea, and we hope to definitely have some more in the future for you guys. And so that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.